Caitlin Clark is nearing a lucrative 8-figure endorsement deal with Nike.
Recall, Caitlin Clark was signed by Nike for a staggering $28 million in April, was widely reported as a record-breaking everyone's deal for a female athlete, believed that their collaboration would be enormous, particularly in light of Caitlin's amazing talent. We're discussing about a collegiate athlete that was dominant. Basketball continues to break records. Indeed, it appeared that Nike had hit gold. Correct.
And I know the best is yet to come. So, congratulations, Caitlin. You are the 2024 Kia WNBA Rookie of the Year.
As we move forward in time, things have taken an odd turn. Caitlin just won the title of WNBA Rookie of the Year. Outstanding accomplishment that inspired people to crazy, but the best part is that Nike has been no congratulations, no radio silence. Nothing, not a zip is posted on social media, as if they had forgotten to sign her. The story's conclusion, expressed in words, is merely the start of the legend. Lovely. Strong stuff, yes, but ever since. Total number of crickets. Now, let's put this in silence. Perspective. Nike isn't particularly renowned for hesitant to promote their players. Usually, they are everywhere on social media, promoting each and every accomplishment, landmark. However, Caitlin seems to be not visible to them.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it.
Conversely, Nike has been expressing affection for other athletes such as, don't get me wrong, Wilson is wonderful and deserving of praise, but with the Rookie of the Year in hand, not making a move on your roster, it's left fans scratching their heads, and posing some meaningful queries. Nike has been adding fuel to the fire, pushing the person Caitlin has been dating, Diana Taurasi. Tatsi has been performing all season and is now a legend in and of herself. Without a doubt, everything but with this youthful phenom, smashing records and attracting audiences such as you never would have imagined that Nike would be. People are all over that, right? Pondering the circumstances surrounding the scenes. Is there any tension present? I'm not sure if Nike is playing any long-term strategy that is still unknown to us. It's definitely not yours, whatever it is. Typical sponsor of a celebrity athlete. Adidas's partnership takes center stage. Nike has been silent, but someone else is speaking up, but it's not your style. Anticipate seeing an Adidas ambassador. This is where I'm singing Clark's praise. Adidas, things get pretty interesting. The largest rival of Nike is indirectly. They're doing it while stealing the show. In the most surprising manner imaginable. Enter tennis legend Billie Jean King, and she went to the Adidas Global Ambassador social media to provide Caitlin with an enormous shout-out. We're not merely discussing a no. King went all out, but swift congratulations, enumerating all of Caitlin's amazing achievements this season, which she commended. Caitlin's leadership and skill, influence on the gameplay. It was the type of sincere acknowledgement in detail that fans were anticipating from Nike. Consider that an Adidas ambassador for a moment is promoting a Nike sportsman more than going to a Pepsi is similar to Nike itself. Occasion and observing every Coca-Cola logo. King's post simply does not compute. Wasn't merely a friendly congratulations, she called. Clark is a talent that spans generations and highlighted her season-long record break. This is more than just lip service. It's a calculated move that has everyone conversing, and you are aware of what fans are enjoying. This surprising action by fans of King have ignited the internet, are sharing and leaving comments on. King's post has sparked conversation regarding sportsmanship and acknowledging ability independent of brand connections. However, it also makes people wonder about probing inquiries concerning loyalty and brand representation in the entirety of the circumstance. Fans are speculating that Caitlin might jump. Can you blame Adidas for shipping when you're receiving greater affection from your Rival of the sponsor as opposed to your own. Sponsor, it will undoubtedly generate some eyebrows, but in reality, it's not likely that Caitlyn would take such dramatic measures. These contracts are complicated and cost $28. $1 million is a significant sum, but Nike's unusual quietness is undoubtedly putting. When they're in a difficult situation, it's like Adidas has been given a golden. This is a golden opportunity. The entire scenario is under scrutiny. On the relationship between brands and athletes in the social media era, it's not only about signing well-known names these days, it's regarding how you encourage and assist them. Thus, it appears that Adidas is now winning the PR game without putting in any effort. The WNBA is struggling, but there's more to come to this narrative rather than merely brand drama. Let's discuss Caitlyn's first season, since it has been nothing but renowned. At the time Caitlyn entered the Indiana Fever were having trouble. Team, we're discussing a franchise. They have not participated in the playoffs since 2016. However, Caitlyn, she made things better in a way that nobody could anticipated.
But she's the best player in the country.
How will she go for history? Caitlin Clark is coming.
I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Caitlin Clark, only 22 years old, is changing the picture of women's sports around America.
Let's first discuss attendance before the average Fever. Caitlyn was around 3,000 supporters. Every game isn't bad, but not fantastic either. Caitlin Clark, or all of a sudden, they're packing in 15,000. Tonight, folks, we're talking about sold out. People are scurrying for tickets at arenas. For basketball, it was similar to Beatlemania. And it was more than just seats and bums. Caitlyn started working in merchandising. Phenomenon, it flew off her jersey shelves more quickly than piping hot pastries at a. We're talking about Sunday brunch. Sales that are making records here, the type of figures that force marketing executives to take a joyful dance, but the real deal is that success frequently has a cost, and Caitlyn's let's break, because we've been paying it in spades, listing as some of the difficulties she has encountered. Opponents soon learned that physical play, that in order to prevent Caitlyn, they were talking about the necessity to become physical. Difficult defense, hard screens, and the works. It is the type of care that is typically kept for seasoned veterans only. Rookies, but Caitlyn absorbed everything. Stride, demonstrating her resilience. Come with dubious officiating. I'm not one to be critical of referees. They have a difficult work, but even the most informal. It was evident to the observer that Caitlyn was not consistently receiving the calls she was due. She seemed to be being held by the officials to a standard that frustrates you. Here's where the court drama is. Go completely crazy. There have been allegations that Caitlyn was being impolite and became even more racist. Can anyone who has followed believe it? Caitlyn's career is aware of these charges, are completely off base, yet in the professional. Sometimes in athletics, the truth takes a backseat too. Despite all of this, Caitlyn, sensationalism, maintained a positive attitude and a powerful game. In a recent postseason matchup with she posted numbers on the Connecticut Sun that 29 points that any veteran would be proud of. 7 rebounds and 10 assists were. This is triple-double territory. People, this is the heartbreaker. Despite Caitlyn's valiant efforts, the fever subsided. It resembled a One U Women's performance, where the supporting actors failed to remember their. Caitlyn was out there giving it her all. Although basketball is a sport played in teams and on, the crews simply couldn't keep up that night. This game was a miniature version of. Caitlyn's whole season was outstanding. Specific performances, but frequently not having the group backing to convert those. Turning performances into victories is the type of circumstances that can strain even the most formidable of rivals. The surprising announcement, so get ready for September's biggest surprise of all. Caitlyn dropped a bombshell on the 29th of 2024 that nobody anticipated. She's departing the WNBA. She's finished with the league and will soon be traveling to Europe. Season.
Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back.
Take a look at this packed press conference, reporters on edge, out of their seats. Social media is a flurry of speculation, and Caitlin is observing, weary but resolute, dropping a shocking revelation that sent shockwaves through. According to the sports world, I need a reset. I must escape from everything. You could hear how exhausted she was. Voice notices the fatigue in her eyes. Was no longer solely about basketball. This concerned a young sportsman at her. Getting to the crunch, let's be clear, is more than just the Indiana Fever's defeat. This is a serious setback to the whole WNBA. We're discussing a player who independently rekindled enthusiasm for because Caitlin was more than simply a celebrity. She was attracting attention to a supernova and crowds as no one else considers the numbers ranging from 3,000 to 15,000 spectators per game. Not only is that growing, but it's an explosion, and it was more than simply TV ratings. For in-person attendance increased. Every time Caitlin performed, products sales skyrocketed, but she wasn't. She was a one-woman player. WNBA's economic stimulus package. What does her exit signify for the league? But it's not very attractive. Possibly taking a look at a financial. There is a catastrophe here without Caitlin. Actual danger of attendance reverting to TV deals before Clark levels may need to be rearranged. Sponsors may begin reconsidering their pledges, but going above. There is a human component to the numbers. The fact that Caitlin is leaving is raising some important inquiries on the player welfare in the WNBA. If she is a celebrity caliber feels compelled to depart from what does that indicate about the league's capacity to encourage and develop its talent? It's a loud alarm to wake people up, alerting the WNBA to the necessity of shift, since if they are unable to maintain Caitlin Clark is an example of a generational talent, content, and prospering, then they've got more significant issues than simply losing a great player right when you had this concept. The narrative couldn't get any more juicy. Some inside information that will blow the former president of the Indiana Fever comes to mind. Recently, Allison Barber revealed some meaningful discussion of what was taking place behind closed doors, and allow me to explain. This type of material has the potential to create a producer of reality television. Let's start by talking about team salivation. Barber claimed that there were dynamics. There was a lot of anxiety in the changing room. We're not discussing your typical. No, this was the next step in the competitive spirit. Level of drama, especially between Kelsey and Nalissa. Smith and Mitchell are now both gifted individuals in their own right, but they weren't precisely singing, it seems. After games like these, Kaya together, it is possible to poison internal conflict for a team, particularly one that is attempting to center on a rising celebrity such as Caitlin. Imagine attempting to plan the ideal when two of your keys are in symphony. Instruments are out of tune all the time. It's a coach's worst nightmare when they are together. In relation to coaches, here's an additional. Christie, the head coach of Bombshell, sides seem to have a firm hold on we're talking about the type of locker room of authority that might cause some. Now that solid leadership is in place, dictators blush. One thing, but when it begins to have an impact, strategy and player rotations, that's when Barber's eyebrows begin to rise. Suggested that this could help to explain why Smith continued to lose playing time as the season progressed. It was the type of a choice that leaves admirers baffled. Their players and heads inquiries, their function within the group.
I think the biggest challenge has just been the fact that we've only had like 24 days together. I think that's presents a big challenge for our team, especially a really young team and an inexperienced team. So a team that's trying to find their chemistry and how they work together, I would say that's probably the biggest challenge for us.
However, here's where, in spite of that, it becomes incredibly engaging. Caitlin, all this drama behind the scenes, had a laser-like concentration on team building. This girl's chemistry wasn't about padding her own numbers or stealing the show. No, she wished for the team's success. Collectively, it demonstrates Caitlyn's. Here, her leadership and character make her a rookie attempting to act as the binding agent. The group as a whole, with more seasoned coaches and athletes, are shaking things up. It's like witnessing a freshman attempt to resolve a conflict between older citizens. Nice, but that's a tough one, man. Place to be, and wonder what she strategy did in fact work in spite of all the inner conflict. Caitlyn's selfless play and a focus on team performance were beneficial. The Fever qualifies for the playoffs. For the first time since 2016, we're discussing the termination of a 6-year playoff drought. In any other circumstance, this can result in a celebration ticker. Tape shows the progress, but this is the Barber claims that the front kicker the office wasn't always excited about. Can you believe how selfless Caitlyn's play was? Because they have a talent that was generational and was not only putting up amazing figures, but also making everyone in the vicinity better, yet they weren't quite in agreement. It's like owning a goose that lays when you board golden eggs and grumbling about the let's chat now since the eggs aren't large enough. Regarding something that truly demonstrates Caitlyn's personal characteristics, Barber revealed this small piece of information that's truly got everyone talking about. Caitlyn questioned if the WNBA would give bonuses pay to rival teams due to all the she was drawing a sellout crowd. So let that take a moment to consider this novice. Already considering the larger image, she's not only thinking about herself, her own accomplishments, or even those of her team. She's considering the league as a whole. That is the type of forward thinking you often see from seasoned pros or league executives who are not initially. Sadly, the league had to, because of collective bargaining, say no regulations, but Caitlyn's even made that request. It says a lot regarding her honesty and her knowledge of the commercial aspects of sports. We're more than just athletes. Discussing this is shrewd. An entrepreneur who recognizes that all boats in the business are lifted by the increasing tide. Cleverness behind the skill. Let's take a bit more on what makes Caitlyn Clark is more than simply an incredible basketball player. Barber claims that Caitlyn entered the WNBA has some important business because of her name image acumen. College-related likeness deals. For those who might be unaware that no trades are permitted, college athletes to make money off of their name, likeness, and picture while yet in school is a very recent development in collegiate athletics, and Caitlyn was among the first to truly profit from it. When Caitlyn joined the WNBA, she wasn't merely considering crossover dribbles and three-point shooting. She had a group of advisors verifying every facet of her career was right on the money. Marketing specialists, financial advisors, and work. This girl arrived ready, and it's a striking contrast to the previous state of affairs. In the former rookies would frequently enter the league, concentrate only on their performance, letting agents handle the business side and team representatives. Although Caitlyn is active in all facets of her profession, this degree of commercial acumen is evolving. The athletes of today's game, particularly someone such as Caitlyn, isn't. They are entrepreneurs, not only rivals. Social media and brand managers. Caitlyn, influencers combined into one, was in the lead from the start, realizing that her influence could go well beyond the basketball floor. What comes next?
Caitlyn Clark last night finished up one of the most remarkable years of basketball playing up in quite some time. She just absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention, an icon for sports fans, certainly little girls.
So, what are our next steps? Caitlyn Clark's choice to depart from the European WNBA is causing a stir via the realm of sports, and it's leaving us with more queries than responses. Let's first discuss. Europe has a bright future for Caitlyn. League of Basketball, with some contending that There, the competition is even more intense. Then would this move help in the WNBA? Caitlin, step up your game even more, or will the various play styles overseas provide additional difficulties then? There's the matter of her ultimate return, since, let's face it, you have talent, such as Caitlin Clark's departure away from basketball in America. When she does return, it will be forever. Be to a WNBA team that has taken lessons from her exit and made adjustments, or will she discover the same annoyances when waiting for? Regarding the WNBA specifically, this is when they realized they had just lost a player who was their brightest star and increasing TV attendance on its own, ratings and sales of merchandise. How will, when they get past this, what steps will they take to? This is a reminder to deal with some Caitlin and other players' problems, have raised soldiers or plan to do so, continuing as though nothing has altered, and let's not to mention Nike's silence. The entire experience has been, will they finally break their silence? Stillness since Caitlin is departing, or will they keep solving puzzles? Method of disregarding their largest. In addition to women's basketball, there's the more general query of what this implies for Caitlin Clark. Women's sports in America was not merely a fantastic basketball player. She was a cultural phenomenon as a player, attracting new followers and drawing attention to her exit from women's basketball could be detrimental to the rising popularity of female athletes, or it might be the catalyst for important reforms and enhancements. So, what are your thoughts? Caitlin is doing everything correctly. Journey to Europe, how will this influence the future of the NBA and what's actually happening with Nike? These are huge inquiries, and to be honest, only time will tell, but Caitlin is certain of one thing. Clark isn't merely altering the rules on the court, she's changing the way we consider the business of athletes and these leadership issues in women's sports. Collectively, we have been speaking for years regarding the disparity in pay in sports, the absence of media attention to the need for improved promoting and marketing. Caitlin's success demonstrated to us what may happen when the focus is on female athletes, but her departure, which demonstrates to us how much consider the job we still need to perform. What additional sport would the Rookie of the Year, a phenomenon that broke records, feel to want to go somewhere better? Opportunities, it serves as a reminder that only the WNBA alone, but for all women's American athletics. But here's the thing, every obstacle presents an opportunity. Caitlin's action might serve as the impetus for genuine, significant change. Perhaps this is what league sponsors must do, and media to take notice and pay attention should understand that funding women's playing sports isn't always the moral thing to do. Looking ahead, it's good business as let's conclude this crazy tale and consider regarding what the future may bring. Will Caitlin benefit from her experience in Europe? Develop both personally and as a player? Will she return to the WNBA more powerful than before? Can the WNBA utilize this as an chance to address long-standing problems and return more resilient, or will they have difficulty filling the Caitlin-sized gap for Nike in their league? Would they break their quiet at last? And if they, how are they going to explain their perplexing strategy for advertising one of the biggest names in women's sports? This could be a pivotal time that results in increased coverage, better compensation, and greater chances for women athletes from all. One thing about sports is that we'll be keeping a careful eye on everything, because it will have ripple when it happens next. Impacts that go well beyond a single individual or one league. Therefore, how would you describe yourself? Eager to witness Caitlin's dominance in. Do you think the WNBA will make it to Europe? Modifications and your opinion about Nike. Unusual quiet. Let your mind wander. The remarks below. And if you'd like to remain informed about the most recent developments in, remember to hit the sports world that subscribe button and activate reminders. Keep in mind that sports are more than merely regarding events that take place on the pitch or court. It's about the drama, the stories, and the corporate choices and the culture. Impact, and there isn't a greater compared to Caitlin Clark's gratitude for. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the upcoming. Hey people, keep your eyes on the ball, because there is still more to this story.